Hello everyone and welcome back to Microsoft Ancient Lands. Today Rahotep, an Egyptian craftsman. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Rahotep, the craftsman. Hey, dust off that stone, have a seat. Yeah, I'm on a break. I got a little leftover dried fish here if you're interested. Well, like a lot of guys, I do a little of everything, mostly stone cutting. Sure, I'd rather work in wood, but it's hard to come by. And when the pharaoh orders up a monument, well, a guy like me just can't afford to pass up those big jobs. Nah, tools aren't fancy, but they work pretty good. Now take a look at my drill. Now that's a clever piece of work if I say so myself. You want to see more? Click me, and I'll show you around.
With just a piece of string, a stick, and a little ingenuity, you could build an Egyptian power drill.
Yes, that looks very interesting.
At home, I use scraps to make little wooden animals for the kids to play with. But I also get a kick out of making these little paddle dolls. No, they're not toys. They're servants for the dead in the afterlife. See, people buy them to leave them in the tombs of their dead relatives. And since the dolls don't have legs, they can't run away, even in the afterlife. Almost everybody's scared of the tombs, except that embalmer's kid, Isis. They think they'll run into snakes or evil mummies. But for me, the real scary part is building them. Way back, a lot of guys died building the pyramids, and accidents still happen. Two of my uncles squashed flat as a sheet of papyrus when a stone block fell on them. You don't believe me? I'll show you.
Yeah, so he mentioned Isis, the embalmer's daughter, one of the previous elder guys, whichever way you want to look at it. And almost mentioned his uncle Rahotep, which is obviously him. So yeah, there you go. Some of them are connected.
Check out Ramses' temple at Abu Simbel. My uncles are the icing between blocks 324 and 325. The guy spent 2 decades hauling stone to build that thing. Talk about your hernias. Me? Yeah, I've been assigned to some pretty nasty projects myself.
Yeah, so Rahotep, Ahmose, and Isis all lived during the reign of Ramses II.
Ramses put me on this big addition at Karnak. Building that forest of columns in the main hall was a killer. Each of those babies is a lot bigger than those cedars that they bring back from Lebanon, and they're 5 stories tall. I think they could have gotten by with a lot less of them. What do you think? But then who am I to argue? Beat's not working.
Indeed.
Of course, working with these scribes isn't like spending a lazy afternoon on the Nile. They're always showing off how smart they are. Seems like every couple of days we have to stop and wait for the scribes to inspect all the little hieroglyphs. Those guys are so picky. I mean, what's the difference if the bird's facing left or right? A bird's a bird, am I right?
Probably not.
But you know who really gives me the creeps? Those embalmers. They wear jackal masks while they work. Well, to make them look like Anubis, their special god. Now me, I'm partial to Khepri, the sun god. The beetle's his sign. Just like I push these big stones around, a giant beetle keeps the sun moving all day. All right, don't believe me. Anyway, that's why I wear a beetle charm around my neck. Oh yeah? Well, if you had to work out here in the sun all day, you might try a little of this eye makeup too. Cuts the glare. Nah, most of us don't wear much in the way of clothes on the job. Too hot out here. All these fancy clothes you've seen on the monuments, they're for special occasions and the afterlife. In my spare time, I make a lot of fancy furniture that people stick into the tombs for the dead to enjoy in the next world. Some of my best work never sees the light of day. And mummy cases. Now those can be really something if you can find the right wood. Now, building fancy funeral barges is good work, too, if you can get it. Oh, speaking of work, here comes the foreman. You better click me again and take another tour, or he'll put you on a crew. See ya.
And yeah, that was Rahotep's tour. I'm Brian Cordrigan, signing out. Stay straight.